Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into a topic that's just absolutely fascinating. We are looking at how a well-designed reef aquarium is so much more than just a pretty piece of decor. We're going to explore how the strategic use of living environments can fundamentally change the entire way people experience a commercial setting. So whether you're managing a bustling restaurant, a massive retail space, or a high-end corporate office, this is going to completely shift your perspective on interior design. Let's get right into it.
I want you to start by asking yourself this really crucial question about your own commercial spaces. Think about your lobbies, your atriums, your waiting areas. What actually turns those spaces from somewhere people are just, forced to be, into somewhere they genuinely want to be? Well, the answer to that question might literally be living ecology.
Just think about the stark contrast here between traditional design and living ecology. I mean, a painting on a wall or a sculpture, that's static decor. It's flat and it never, ever changes. But living ecology, like a vibrant reef tank, it actively shapes how your customers behave. It adds literal depth to a room, it brings constant flowing movement, and just a brilliant spectrum of color. It gives you this always-on visual interest that acts as a natural magnet, drawing attention and holding it in a way that a static object simply can't pull off.
Okay, so here's our quick roadmap for today's explainer. First, we'll go beyond static decor. Second, we'll look at transforming 4 commercial sectors. Third, we'll do a maintenance reality check. And fourth, we'll talk about planning your living centerpiece. We're going to systematically unpack the whole shebang, the business psychology and the logistical planning.
All right, Section 1. Beyond static decor, a living ecosystem. Let's rethink traditional interior design and see what happens when you drop a dynamic, living ecosystem right into an architectural space.
Rather than just hanging another painting, placing a reef tank strategically brings some absolutely incredible, measurable benefits. You know how modern commercial architecture can sometimes feel a bit cold or rigid? Well, the gentle movement of water instantly softens those harsh lines. And actually, here's a really cool bonus. It reduces perceived noise in open areas. It adds this subtle, organic presence that naturally masks the echo of a busy room. Plus, in today's highly visual culture, it creates an instant, photo-worthy centerpiece for your guests.
Moving right along to Section 2, transforming 4 commercial sectors. Transforming spaces. Let's take a quick tour through 4 distinct environments to see exactly how these tanks perform out in the wild. This matrix brilliantly illustrates our mental map for this tour. Notice how the specific industry directly dictates the tank's strategic purpose. It's not one size fits all. In hospitality, it's all about ambiance. In retail, the goal is increasing dwell time. In the corporate world, it's about creating calm. And in community spaces, it's an engine for education. Let's break these down.
Starting with hospitality. Here, tanks act as a signature element that gets guests talking before they're even seated. Imagine walking into a restaurant and boom, you're greeted by a stunning reef display right at the entrance. Guests see it immediately, and they get to enjoy it while waiting for a table. It just instantly upgrades the entire vibe of the experience. But here's the thing. The true magic in restaurants relies heavily on executing a pristine viewing experience. Yes, it gives you that consistent wow factor. And yes, it's an amazing backdrop for marketing photos. It can even tie into your menu storytelling if you serve seafood. But to make it actually work, you need unobstructed sightlines. You have to control the lighting so the display doesn't cast this harsh, annoying glare into the dining room. And critically, you need super quiet equipment and dependably clear glass. Shifting gears over to the retail sector, the primary objective is to dramatically increase dwell time. We're talking about how long people linger in atriums or storefront lounges before moving on. Because let's face it, shoppers are naturally curious. When they see a vibrant reef tank, they pause for photos. And when they pause, they're spending more time in your retail environment. It's a real game changer.
So, the absolute crucial point here is mastering what we call traffic flow alignment. Because a poorly placed tank in a bottleneck, that will actually frustrate shoppers instead of engaging them. If you tuck a tank into a blind corner or smack dab in the middle of a heavy pedestrian choke point, it's a mess. The most successful retail setups are placed where foot traffic can naturally stop, admire the display for a minute, and not block access for everyone else. That way, your increased dwell time naturally pushes people toward your nearby kiosks and stores.
Now, as we enter the corporate space, the energy totally shifts. Here, tanks are utilized as a brilliant alternative to generic office decor. A large, beautifully lit display in a corporate lobby creates a seriously memorable first impression for clients, partners, and job candidates. And at the same time, it provides this soothing, natural distraction for employees taking a quick mental break.
I absolutely love how the source material phrases this. Visible calm with measurable value. Doesn't that hit the nail on the head? It perfectly captures why modern offices are ditching the generic lobby artwork. You aren't just buying a decoration. You're investing in visual technology that directly impacts the psychological well-being of the people inside that building.
Our final stop on the tour brings us to community spaces. Think museums, visitor centers, things like that. In these environments, the Reef becomes a totally interactive conversation starter. It isn't just background scenery anymore, it's literally a living exhibit.
And by activating the space with these strategies, you ensure you aren't overwhelming your guests with technical complexity. You can build actual programming around the tank, guided mini-talks, seasonal spotlight themes, or having staff lead explanations about ocean conservation. But the absolute best approach uses simple, visitor-friendly signage, like a quick "What You're Seeing Today" board. It gives people just enough context to be fascinated without bogging them down in heavy marine biology jargon.
Okay, Section 3, the maintenance reality check, behind the scenes. We need to pivot from the dream to the reality right now. Because let's be honest, these stunning ecological features do not maintain themselves.
Success absolutely requires a disciplined routine. To keep a commercial tank looking pristine and free of, unsightly algae blooms, you need stable water parameters and strict feeding routines. This means using proven filtration systems, and listen, this is key. It means you must budget for ongoing professional service, not just the initial setup cost. Furthermore, the workflow is vital. You really need external access panels so the tank can be serviced invisibly without disrupting your customers. And again, controlling the noise of those pumps is just as important as getting the lighting right.
Finally, Section 4, planning your living centerpiece. Actionable blueprint. Let's equip you with a practical step-by-step plan for bringing one of these ecosystems into your own space.
If you're considering an installation, you've got to follow these 3 exact steps to ensure the design perfectly matches your space. Step 1. Decide on your primary purpose. Are we going for branding, dwell time, calm, or education? Step 2. Define your viewing angles. Make sure the sightlines are clear and aligned with your traffic flow. And Step 3. Choose a maintenance approach that realistically fits your building's access points and your staff's capabilities. Align these 3, and your tank becomes a true living centerpiece.
So, I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on regarding your own spaces. Take a look around your lobby, your dining room, or your retail floor tomorrow, and ask yourself, what are your walls actually doing for your guests? Are they just holding up the ceiling, or is it time to transform them into living, breathing destinations that people will remember long after they walk out the door? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Start looking at your walls differently and get ready to plan your masterpiece.